Welcome to JamPlay.com. My name is Stuart Ziff, and we're talking about the blues, and we're talking about one of the true icons of blues guitar, Albert King, one of the most influential guitar players in the blues and in guitar, period, in rock and roll, everything. As influential as B.B. King or T-Bone Walker, Freddie King, anybody. Albert was one of those players, you heard him play one or two notes, you knew instantly it was Albert King. He had an attack in his playing that certainly none of us had ever heard before. As I pointed out earlier, he played in an open tuning. He flipped the guitar over, played it backwards and left-handed. And I was fortunate enough to see Albert many times. And you just sit there and kind of scratch your head going, how does he do all that? And I'm only standing 10 feet away from him, and I can see how he's doing it, but I can't see how he's getting that sound. How does he get that attack? He played with his fingers, didn't use a pick, and he had big hands. He managed to pull those strings in a manner that, you know, you'd think he was going to rip them off the guitar, you know, when he played. And I just played that with my fingers right there, my thumb and my first finger. And I can't do that all night long, but I use a pick and I use one of these three fingers or to get that kind of sound and get that vibe going. And what we're gonna do in this lesson is we're gonna look at how Albert felt out a solo in a shuffle. And it's the same shuffle we did in the last lesson. It's that very Memphis, Booker T and the MGs kind of vibe with an R&B slant to it. And there's a lot of space going on. There's a lot of space in that groove. So as you heard when I was playing on the intro to this lesson, I really wasn't playing that much. Really just playing to where the pocket was and just trying to find a couple of nice places to, like, you know, do some stabs with the notes and just play some good phrases that work right there. And on top of it all, in my head, I was thinking of a vocal and sort of playing, you know, like call and response to what was going on. But, you know, Albert definitely had some swing to his playing when he played. You know, he didn't swing it like BB played it or like T-Bone, but he had some swing to his playing. And his phrasing, I would say, was as unique as T-Bone Walker's was. And that's the connection, that's kind of the connection that I see, because Albert had his own way of swinging to a shuffle. It's not swing, like I said, it's not swinging like the way BB did or T-Bone, but you can tell there was a little bit of it there. He must have listened to him. He must have heard him. Something rubbed off there. So I thought we'd, you know, talk about what I'm going to play here, what we're going to do. Now, Albert mostly operated within the minor pentatonic scale, and there's a school of thought that says that he just operated in what would be this pattern. If that's the pattern beginning on the root. Well, he certainly did operate there, but he also operated in this position. Which was one of his classic turnarounds. He used to play that in a lot of tunes. And because he played with his fingers, he really pulled at those strings, which gives it a totally different attack than using a pick. And you can use a pick to do it. So it's something that, you know, you can use your pick and you can get that sound, or you can use your fingers in there. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, I believe, used to do both. He would use his pick sometimes. Sometimes he did both, got his fingers and the pick in there. And to great effect, I will say. Let's look at a couple of things that Albert King does that are his signatures. Sometimes he'll answer himself answer his vocal with this line. He might sing a line, da, ba, da, da, da. And that's right here in that pattern of the minor pentatonic scale. And he's playing off the fourth, which is B flat. And he just bends that note. He'll bend that note just a little bit. B flat, A flat, F, and then he grabs the octave of F right here on the first string. To good effect. Now another thing that he'll do is he'll get up to this position here, and he'll play that passage, he'll play that phrase quickly. And sometimes he bends it, he'll bend it just a half step, and sometimes he'll go a whole step. That's the note that he's targeting. He's targeting a C. And he'll get that interval. So he goes back and forth between a half step bend and a whole step. Like that. One of the other things that Albert will do is he'll grab two strings at a time and bend them, and he'll do that with the first two strings, the E and the B string. And he lets it down slowly. So you got to bend it far enough. You got to bend it far enough so the high E string is coming up a whole step. And then you come down like that. One of the other things that he'll tend to do is play that lick up again an octave higher. In other words, since we're in the key of F, he'll play it up here past the 13th fret. And play. And he'll bend that G string just up like that. That's another riff that he likes to do. He'll bend, which is a really nice interval. So if that's the root F, he's bending B flat up to C, then he's bending A flat up to B, he's bending A flat up to B flat, so he's going, and it's all one motion. So you got some dancing around to do on the fretboard. And you take your time doing it. But those are some of the things that Albert does, and I'm going to put together a solo for you right now where I'm going to play those things. So I'm going to leave some space and leave some room so you can pick up on what it is that I'm doing and hear those licks. Here's a shuffle in F, Albert King style. So there you go. I think I incorporated all those riffs and those bends that I talked about. So get your fingers working, get your left hand working and prepared to bend those strings up a whole step or even a step and a half. Things like that. And be prepared to move things around in a manner that you haven't done before. Keep the time steady. Be conscious of leaving some space. And just try to have as much fun with it as you possibly can right now. But you're gonna have to work to learn how to get those bends just right. So the hardest one, I would say, is being able to bend those two strings and then to be able to come down out of that bend into those two notes. So you want to practice this stuff. Take your time with it. Don't be in a hurry. And eventually it should fall under your fingers. So practice up and we'll see you at the next lesson.